so Venerable Panya Kara has requested me to answer that question. And I think it's a very extremely important question because in my opinion, in the situation that we are facing in this country and around the world, inner peace is certainly an essential requirement, but we also need justice. Because what we see taking place in this country right now, I have to tell you, I'm 81 years old. I grew up during the period of the 1960s, when we had the civil rights movement, 1964, 65, voting rights, civil rights. Wow, the country is opening up, losing its heritage of racism and discrimination. The anti-war movement against the war in Vietnam, we're coming to an era of peace. Then early 1970s, the feminist movement, women's rights are coming to the front of our social consciousness. And now what are we facing? I have to say, sadly, it's almost a reign of terror, where people are being terrified. School children afraid to go to school from fear that they're going to be grabbed off the streets and sent to a prison or a detention camp. Workers afraid to go to work. Families being torn apart. So it seems that we have to balance this inner peace with what I call a strong commitment to conscientious compassion. That is compassion inspired by a sense of conscience, a responsibility for the welfare of all our fellow citizens, all the residents of this country, and indeed a universal compassion for all human beings. I don't really know very much.
For our children and our next 7 generations.
Children, for me in this world, not just the United States, but I think we lead our children to a different path already. It's because we live in this world dependent on technologies too much. Way too much. Look around us in our family. A child will have an iPad, iPhone, smart tab, things like that. The more they use it, the more they'll be sidetracked. Because a lot of distractions around on social media, on the internet and everything. And like us, I talked about earlier, the phone is always a problem because we depend on it too much. Imagine how many phone numbers we remember back then, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, how many phone numbers we were able to memorize? The whole phone book? Probably. How about now? How many phone numbers have we actually memorized by heart? Probably 3, 4, 5 phone numbers. So what is the problem? I believe it's because we depend on technology. Back then you have to dial the number within our head. We have to use the head. Say the number and we dial it by hand. Now, tap, tap, tap. Okay? Will show up everything and then we just dial. We lose in our memories each and every time. And that is how we train our children to go on the same path. And sadly, for me, my point of view and what I can see, our future generation will have a big problem. So in order for us to change our future generation, we have to start, become a role model for our kids from now. Stay away from the phone as much as possible. There's nothing wrong with the phone. Nothing wrong with it, don't get me wrong. It's just that we depend on it and we use it way too much. Versus before we didn't have one, we still survived. And now probably we could not survive if we don't have one. Imagine if there's internet outage. We're gonna call the internet company and complain all day long because of no internet. We could not survive. It's very difficult for us. So dependent on technologies is going to kill us. Our brain, our mind is shrinking every day. Back then we can use our head to calculate and map. How about now? We have to use a calculator, we have to use a phone to calculate a very simple map. Just that alone, we are leading our children to a very, very wrong direction. So if we could, starting from here on, we need to train our children again, not to depend on technologies too much. Thank you.
My question is simple. How do we become more intentional about morality?
More morality. Well, for us as a Buddhist monk, we practice mindfulness every day. Like I mentioned about it, if we are mindful enough, we know what we should and what we shouldn't do. Without mindfulness, we could commit into a lot of things. Right? So we always have to train ourselves to have mindfulness, to be aware of everything happening around us, what's popping up in our head. The more we stay focused and aware, the better we are. And mindfulness is the answer, the key that we need to practice. To be honest with all of us here, mindfulness is missing, and people been living without mindfulness. It's very tough for all of us. We missed out mindfulness. Because of unmindful, we have done a lot of things. All the things that happen is around us is also because of unmindful. So we need to train ourselves to be mindful, to know what we should and what we shouldn't do. Thank you.
What is your response to Christian nationalism? And say a word to all religions at this time, particularly Christians in this country.
For me, after 17 years of ordained, I respect all religions. And I'm very grateful to take on this journey to walk that far from Fort Worth, Texas to here. And I'm very grateful that all churches open the door to host us, to give us food, to give us a place to live, to stay overnight. And we are here in this beautiful church, and in this very holy place. So for me, I have never talked about religions, regardless of what they talk about Buddhism. It doesn't matter to us, first of all, it really doesn't matter to us what they say, what people say. But for us, when we practice, we respect all religions. Because to me, all religions teach people how to live, how to be a better person in this society, how to support society, and how to support this country, our country where we live in. And of course, earlier at the church, the pastors told me that there's over hundreds kids studying every day, go to school there every day, and of course all churches, all places, all temples are also teaching our future generation to be a better person in this world. So for us to talk on behalf of all the religions, I don't have that knowledge. But I do have one thing that I share along the road. I said, we have different backgrounds, different beliefs, different religions we practice in every day. But after all that practicing, we go into the church, we go into the temple, all brethren, all pastors, all venerable monks, all gurus, all teachers are teaching people how to be good. But in common, after all that, we do have one religion in common, which is the religions of love and kindness, compassion and peace, that we are seeking for every single day, we worshiping every single day, and that temple, that church is within our mind. So that is the answer that I could answer. I respect all religions, and now that we are in this church and out there so much, and right here so much faith leaders joining us, this world should be like this for me. It should be like this. There's no need to be separated or any division at all whatsoever. Thank you.
We have small tokens of our ministry here that we would like to present to you. I present to you a pin that represents the Episcopal Diocese of Washington, D.C.
And we have a pin of your visit to the cathedral.
With deep gratitude, I offer my heartfelt thanks to Bishop and all Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Jewish, Buddhist, monks, our teachers and teachers of our teachers, and Sikh, Baha'i, indigenous, and interfaith spiritual leaders who embrace our call and join the National Cathedral welcome on such a short notice. You opened your hearts and made this sacred place feel like home to everyone. When the George Washington University Center of Interfaith and Spiritual Life ran out of options to host these peaceful monks in this cold weather, we will never forget how you opened your doors of the cathedral. And of course, the Methodist Church and of its sanctuary to give the venerable monks warmth, space and care. Hebrew 13:2 reminds us, do not neglect to show your hospitality to strangers, for by doing that some have entertained angels without knowing. You may wonder why Buddhist monks saying so. It teaches that hospitality is a sacred duty, and that when you welcome a stranger, you may be welcoming someone far more important than you realize. Just as Abraham welcomed angels, these monks and our beloved Aloka have shown us how peace, unity, mindfulness, and and acceptance can be lived every day. I want to share a small story. When we told the Reverend we need a bigger hall for devotees to offer lunch, he said immediately, take the sanctuary. I hesitated and said, are you sure? People may spill drinks and you may have to wash all the cushions. Because I studied in a Catholic school, I know how sacred the sanctuary to you, all of you. His answer was simple but full of wisdom. He said, when a visitor comes to your house, you treat them the best way you can. We can clean after, welcoming them comes first. That small moment showed how deeply all of you prepared, cared, and stood together to welcome the monks. A sanctuary is not opened by one person alone. It opens only when the whole community shares the same generosity. The monks themselves opens only when the whole community shares the same generosity. The monks themselves walk not only 2,300 miles, but the monk profound path the Buddha taught, a path where even in the face of hardships, one holds no anger. The Buddha said, even if someone cuts you into 2 pieces, if you hold anger, you are not following my path. These monks embodied that teaching. Their gratitude shines in the story of Aloka, the humble dog who walked with them and received their boundless care. Their loving kindness was tested and proven after tragic accident on their journey, yet they continued walking with compassion. No bitterness. They showed the world what inner peace truly looked like. Hosting the Peace Walk monks in Washington, D.C. involved many moving pieces. Some well planned, some completely last minute. But all united by one intention, peace. On behalf of the Peace Walk Monks D.C. hosting team, I sincerely apologize for any inconvenience you may have experienced. Your patience and support carried this effort more than well. May all you be well, peaceful, and happy. May the blessings of this gathering continue to uplift our communities. May you all be well and happy. May this be our peaceful day. Thank you.
The venerable monks have more traveling to do. We'd like to keep them here for quite a while, but they need to get back on their journey. My brothers and sisters and siblings from faith community around the Washington, D.C. area, and for all of the venerable monks, we share so much in common. Our loving kindness, peacefulness, compassion are essential values of all of our faiths, and we should never, ever forget that. And it is a great witness to have all of you here, and we need to stay connected to one another. So thank you. Thank you for being here. What we'll do first is we will invite the venerable monks to exit down the center aisle, and then we can all follow behind them if that suits. Thank you for coming and being here and giving up your time this day.